Okay, good morning. It is Groundhog Day.
Is it? Yes.
February 2nd. We're gonna go ahead and get started. Chantel's gonna say a few things and then we'll lead into our the rest of our in-service.
Good morning, guys. Good morning. Thank you, everybody online, for joining us. Okay, couple things. Risk reports. When you're putting in a risk report, look for, a lot of times, obviously, you're putting in location of where the event happened, pre-op or PACU. But in the other service units involved. So a lot of times we're not putting in risk reports because of our practices. We're putting them in because of someone else's practices, right? So if, give me an example. A resident yells at you. Let's just say that, right? A resident yells at you for asking them to talk to the patient, okay? You want to put in that service, or if it's anesthesia, or if it's OR, if you want to put them as the primary service. If you, and I know this is probably done out of ease, put PACU, because you can find that really fast, right? That sends it to me. Well, I'm not going to chase down an anesthesiologist or a resident or, IV therapy or whatever about their issues. I have to go through a whole rigmarole to try to send it to them and get them to do it. But we still own it. So in the other service units involved, that's where you want to pick IV therapy or anesthesia, clerk. We have some at CNW, we have some clerk issues often. Clerical services, I think it's called clerical services. There's a ton. So you do have to siphon through that, but think about that for now. You can put location, PACU, but you want to put all that other stuff. Okay, so just so you know how risk reports work. So I will see that you're putting it in and you're not picking us, and we can follow up about it. But anything you put in, even if it's regarding us, if you put one in against Serena, because she told you the wrong thing or she yelled at you, it will come to me, we'll follow up. It goes through several different people checking and looking at this. So, okay, we've talked about this in huddle a little bit. We have got to do a better job communicating with the charge nurses, okay? They are running a whole bunch of stuff at once. You have to communicate really, really well with them, okay? They don't need the power. They just need to know what's happening so they can make all this happen. So communicate with them. Pre-op teamwork. I keep hearing a lot of negative things about pre-op teamwork. I don't need to tell you that pre-op needs to run like this to make it all happen, especially in the 6, 7, 8 a.m. range, okay? Pre-op teamwork. I hear there's been great strides in PACU, but that pre-op is lacking. So, why? Why? I mean, I have my opinion. I'll tell you, but because the surgeons are there, okay? How does that affect our teamwork? Okay, so okay, if your work is backed up because of the surgeon, can you go help somebody who that surgeon just left? Okay, and they're behind now because that surgeon was in there forever. Can you bust in there at that moment and assist them? And then them being a good teammate that they are will probably help you. That is the teamwork. You may get backed up. I'm not saying there's not lots and lots of opportunity to get behind in pre-op. I'm more concerned with the teamwork issue.
Helping each other as nurses.
Helping each other.
I know Serena and I have talked, like when we first started, like you would almost buddy up with somebody and you'd be like, hey, I'll go get your 2 IVs if you can start your questions and then we'll move on to this patient together. Like if all 2 or 3 of my patients are done, then I'd go buddy up with somebody. If you're working 6 slots together, it's almost like you're going to expedite them quicker. So don't be afraid to do that. I know sometimes we're so siloed and like, oh, I only have 3, 4, and 5. That's it. I can't see past that. But really, like, that's what Chantel's trying to promote is like, I'm good, but let's see if Serena's good, or I'll see if
Yes.
Emily's good. It's not only just, we get backed up because the surgeons and anesthesia and they are in the way or they butt in or whatever. But see how you can go and help each other and work as a team.
In those situations, that's where you should be like, hey guys, I am way behind because the surgeon and the family wouldn't stop talking and I am so far behind and the OR is waiting for me. Can you and you help me in here? And I guarantee you can be done prepping that patient. In
Knock
5
it out
minutes.
real fast.
Kind of like NASCAR, right? When the car goes in, everyone goes in there, helps out, and then you're done. And it's so quick.
So please be cognizant of that is an area that we want to improve. You as nurses and techs and staff should see that that is a benefit if that happens. So I'm going to say this very briefly because I don't want to harp on it. I believe in real life. Okay. I just got off the phone. I had to schedule a meeting with my kids' teacher at 8 o'clock. I completely believe in real life that you may be having a car getting an estimate on it and you're waiting for the estimate to come through sometime and you're going to have to go look at that. I believe in real life that's completely appropriate. But if you are in your phone for hours a day, you do not know the struggles your teammates are involved in.
That's why the communication is very important.
Mhm.
Because like I have a patient last week that she won't let us touch her, and I relayed right away to the attending. She's very hardcore. Oh, it's not in the broken plan or a special need. It wasn't written at all that she's need a fasting. So we speed up the process right away, like page the vest, and you can't page the vest anymore. That's something new that I didn't even know, that you can actually just chat with them. Like when you page them, it's not possible. It says you can just chat
with them.
right, and then they respond, and then they tell you what's coming. It was like something that communication is very important. So the attending tried because the dad was there right away, but he can't even get it. So like I didn't say that, they could have assumed we are putting the ID. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
Yep. Right. So are we all on the same page there? And we will see dramatic improvements. Those of you are here, those of you are online, will communicate this and hold your peers accountable to that. You will involve your peers in your work if you need help. That's part of it. Don't struggle on your own. You have peers that are available. I know there's super busy times in pre-op. I know that it is go, 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 go until it stops. At that stop moment and you need help, you need to drag in your other person. If you are that person, you need to be aware that there is somebody beside you drowning. Okay. B1, their crash cart got switched out to a purple cart. This was my fault because they came and told me this. I'm like, great, thank you. And then he came back the next day and they said, your staff called to have the cart switched out. I'm like, no. So it is supposed to be purple. They're going to re-switch it out. They wanted me to give time to communicate with you guys, and I'll send that out in an email for everybody's not here, but it's going to be purple. Okay. False. A safety report has to be performed. A supervisor needs to be called or paged. Okay. We said this a couple weeks ago. If you do not feel comfortable getting your patient up, do not let them get up. If a physician is pushing you to get your patient up, you are the patient's nurse. You are their advocate. I do not feel comfortable getting this patient up. I am not going to get them up. If they have a problem, they can go to the charge nurse, they can go to the supervisor, they can come to me. You are the nurse. Do not get them up if you don't feel comfortable with it.
Sometimes techs are added to the patient, you know,
By a nurse. I think you voice your concerns to the nurse. If the nurse still is adamant about getting that patient up, you can go to the charge nurse. Charge nurse can make that decision. Okay. With that being said, I think we have to have a trusting relationship here. Okay. The nurse is responsible for that patient. It's not on you because you're going to say, I told, no, it's not. You're gonna say, I had reservations about this. I talked to Trisha, the nurse, about it. Trisha said, get her up. I had a gait belt, I had a walker, I had assistance, the patient still fell. You have to do what you're supposed to do and trust that Trisha is knowing what she's doing. Right? So back to, do not let anyone, any provider make decisions for your nursing practice, right? Tech incentive. I forgot to send out an email. I was verifying that I had gotten approval. I will do that, but I'm pretty sure I have. But so incentive should be for the month of February, till the end of the month. Anything else for me? No,
I don't have anything.
nothing.
Raise up questions, comments, anybody online have any question, comments? Somebody looks really cold, bundled up. Who's that?
I know.
Oh, Deborah.
Are they outside?
Where are
People
you?
meeting Outside?
I had to take my dog to the vet.
She's either on the bus or something. Oh, what did Phil discover? Is it spring? Early spring. Danielle has her hand up. What's up, Danielle? Go ahead.
Can
You
I just
unmute.
quick question about Mutt? And I was off for the month of December and
Wait, we can't hear you. Hold
Hold
on.
on a second.
sorry.
I get some. Okay, try again.
Can I ask a quick question about Mutt? Can you hear me? Or I can put it in the chat
I can hear you, but I'll have to like tell everybody. Okay, go
Okay.
ahead, or throw it in the chat.
for the month of December. And I used to primarily be at Mutt. In the last couple of times I was there, it just seemed like the demeanor there has changed quite a bit. With like housekeeping going through like the garbage that we have in our bays. Like the nurses being
Housekeeping at Mutt and
the nurses being just a
Brennan
little
lost my speaker.
standoffish. Like, did something change or happen that I miss? Like the last shift I worked is a little intense.
Shoot us oh, there we go. I think it's back up. Danielle, can you talk again? So I heard some of your concern, like that the demeanor has changed at Mutt, like housekeeping and
just like they're like going through the garbage, like the garbage like in our bays.
going through the garbage.
Staff should not dig anything out of garbage for anyone.
And then just like asking questions like for that, like the nurse, like at night, we don't have access to like who's on call and stuff. It used to be on the board and it's not anymore. And like when I asked, hey, who can I page? They were just a little bit more
Something out of the
standoffish.
trash anywhere here or at Mott by EVS.
I'm sorry, Danielle. I'm gonna,
I'll put it in the chat,
Also,
Trisha.
do not put the
Okay,
hover mask
that
in the
works.
trash.
I'm sorry. For whatever reason, the speaker, like I can faintly hear
I don't
you,
know if
but
that's what the question was, but there was something like that and I had gotten an email about it. So I don't know, where do they go in their soil? I don't know.
In the garbage. If they're soiled, they go in the garbage. If you can recycle them, they go in the green thing.
Okay.
I would probably put that in the garbage.
Is she done with me?
I think so.
You
She's
think-
gonna put in the chat or just shoot, like if you wanna.
Yeah.
Shoot us
I did get an
message.
email about something about that I'm working with EVS on, but if it's, don't pull stuff out of the trash.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, thank you. Have a good day.
Okay. What time is it? All right, we're gonna go ahead and get started with our in service here. If you're not on mute, put your speakers back on mute for us. You can. Mariah, it looks like you're on, but if there's no interference, like it's fine. Hopefully the sound works, because now I'm concerned.
Can everyone hear us?
Can you
okay?
guys hear, you can hear us okay on Zoom? You can hear it?
Yes, we can hear you okay.
Yes. Okay, awesome. All right, I need to share.
Yes, we can hear you.
I just gotta say, we're a little excited about this. In service, because we put some humor in it. And we know that not everybody is a preceptor, but it relates to anybody going through, or just that we have a bunch of new staff headed our way. How to, implement strategies with, all of our new staff. I don't know, I'm struggling with this. There it goes. Okay, so we're gonna start with this fun video from Nurse Blake.
You're late, so definitely off to a bad start. Before we do get started, which I've already been started, what's your GPA? I want you to tell me, well, what is this? And I want you to review the steps. Go. And this, what is it? Yeah, a stethoscope, spell it. I'm your preceptor today. I've never precepted a student before. What patients do we have? Okay, and which one, was it 8 or 6 is going to surgery? If you need anything, you just call me. I will ask the charge what my number is. I can never remember my number. I need your advice on something. There's a difficult family member in room 10. You don't have room 10? Okay, then we don't have to worry about it. I will be right back. Oh, you never learned IV insertion? Oh, listen, no worries. I'll be able to teach you. Did you take your lunch yet? No, go take your lunch. Yeah, I got this. Hey, make sure you stay hydrated. Make sure you go to the bathroom. You know what? Today, get out of here early. Go home to your dogs. I'll finish the charting for you. If you can, scoot over a little bit just so I can see what you're doing. Yeah, pretend I'm not here. Not here. I would just use your stethoscope maybe in a different way. I would just do like this. And then go ahead and auscultate. Okay, don't forget to check. Also pupils for a left. We can check for edema. You think number 2? I definitely think number 3. Hey, where you are? Oh, you have to sit back right now. Are you doing number 1 or 2? Okay. We got you hear that? Yeah, code blue on bed 6. Go! I'm just kidding. Oh, you need my student to go down to the morgue? Okay, they're coming right now. Just kidding. High five. What's on your scrubs? Someone pee on your scrubs? Yeah, it's wet, like right there. Just kidding. Do I look like I know where the bladder scanner is? You're too busy now. Wait till you're a real nurse. Listen, I'm supposed to guide you, not do everything for you. You don't study much, do you? You're going to be a great nurse. You got this. Oh, a patient peed on you? That's fine. That's happened to me before, like twice. Oh, you peed on yourself? You stressed me? Oh, okay. That's totally fine. Let's go get you a change of scrubs, okay? It'll be okay. It doesn't take 5 minutes to just get this out of this packet. Boom. It's out, okay? Done. See how quick that was? And go. Perfect. Are you still charting? Let me just do it. We have so many other things to do. Did you go on change bed 12? Is that the doctor you're talking to? Let me see the phone. Hi, doc. Yeah, sorry. That was a nursing student. This is very fast paced. You definitely have to keep up, okay? I'm trying to get home and out of here on time. Wait, what'd you say? Don't you ever talk to my nursing student like that again.
I think everyone can pick out different preceptors here. But hopefully it gets you thinking what style.
So clearly there's different styles of precepting, and not everyone, like not one of us is perfect. You might have characteristics of each one of those styles. But I guess the point of us showing that is just to like get your awareness of like how hard or easy or micromanaging you can be on a new learner. And it's important to know your audience. And obviously, like Nurse Blake always puts like fun.
Okay, you're late, so definitely off to a bad.
Let's see if we can move on. Okay. So what Serena and what our goals are for this year, for 2023, is to really set the foundation of what is it to be a preceptor. And as we're rolling through this first quarter, we've got a lot of new people coming, and we want everybody to be on the same page. So we want the preceptors to be well prepared, and then just generally staff, like we're all going to work together. So you're part of the foundation. We want to teach them the right way from the start. I'm going to mold them, especially our new interns. Like this is our opportunity to really like teach them the right way. Don't teach them the shortcuts, the path of least resistance. Share your knowledge. I know one way that like I learned more throughout my nursing career was by teaching. Like I learn as I teach. and it sticks better in my brain. And I feel like you might only know the surface, or you might only know a little bit about something, but it's going to challenge you then to like look stuff up, or like try to recall or remember scenarios of like things that you've faced in your career, and just share that. So then you're both essentially growing together. We do have a Google sheet of desired qualifications and expectations for preceptors. I remember Sarah and I kind of laid this out when we first started the internship, and we've tweaked it a little bit more. Obviously, like, these are things we want all of our staff to be able to do. It's not only just a preceptor, but we want you to be eager and excited to work with the new people, engaged in the department, excel clinically, you're comfortable in your skills, guidelines, and policies. But then know your resources. Know that like you're not going to know everything, but you know where to find the answer, or you know that you can reach out to Margaret or Serena and I to like, where do I get the best resource for? Being professional, having a positive attitude, role models, follow department policies such as our dress code, not on your phones. That whole teamwork thing is huge when we're teaching new people. If you have downtime and you're quickly like to your phone, that's going to teach that new person it's okay to just sit and be on your phone. So we want you to seek out that opportunity to like, hey, let's go see what Serena's doing. If they need any help, we can go pop their IV in, or if they need help checking in that patient, whatever. I know, like Chantel said, like we all grab our phones. We all look online. We're all checking email so often. But we really want to collaborate a little bit more about that team approach. So teaching them that it's not okay to always be on your phone. Have patience. You do have to have patience to work with somebody that is learning. I know I'm challenged as an educator, so is Serena. Every time we get a new group and we have to start over, the basics of like, how do you log on the computer? And so I always have to take myself back, like, 5 steps and be like, okay, we got to start from the beginning. New grads, and again, we don't have any currently, but in the program, but they just graduated or they just got out of our orientation. So they have minimal experience to rely on. So they're going to rely on us. We have to continue to mold our new grads and new staff. Upstairs on the floors, anywhere else in the department that they have like a huge influx of new grads, that like those seasoned nurses are just going to come together and be like, okay, I know that so-and-so is here today. We got to make sure that we can help them out, answer questions or whatever if they come to them. Ability to recognize, adapt to learning styles of your orientee, generational learning styles, novice to expert. So a novice person is somebody like a new grad that goes through the task. You give them a checklist and they're going to check everything off and they are good. And that's normal. We all started that way, but then we have to get to the point where we're more of an expert in our field and you're thinking outside of the box. You're thinking of like, okay, I did my task, but what's next? And what's the whole rationale behind it? Or what do I need to be assessing the big picture? So there's different learning styles as well. Some people do really well with just watching and observing. Others, they have to do it themselves. And then others need like reading material, that they like need something in hand to like read through like steps or like the policies or whatever. So ask them, how do you learn best? How can I set you up for success? Like how do you learn? And how are things going to stick? So that's something that you as a preceptor, as a peer, can ask your new colleague. Do you want to talk about it? I'm just
staying up to date on ASPAN standards. The new standards just came out in January, so we ordered some new books. So we'll put on an in-service going through the new standards, but you still know the ASVAN standards and you want to make sure that you're teaching that, but that you understand what that means. So there is a book at the charge nurse, or if you ever have a question, let Trisha and I know, because we have extra books. Then another expectation is just giving daily feedback on the Google Sheet. So we created that sheet to get feedback in real time to the orientee so that they know what they need to work on. So if you don't feel comfortable talking to that nurse and giving them feedback, you can put it in the Google Sheet. Ideally, you're talking with them in real time and telling them like, hey, let's work on this, or you did a great job with this. Whatever you're talking about, if you put it in the Google Sheet, it lets us know where they're at in their orientation. Like, okay, they're done with pre-op. We need to move on to PACU.
You can also, because those are sometimes are challenging conversations. Like if you do see somebody that might be struggling on a certain item, whether it's charting in general or something more specific, use this as a segue to some conversation. Maybe if you feel just more comfortable and be like, hey, these are some goals, or these are some areas that I think that we need to focus on. And you can leave it at that. And then we can help intervene more with like those challenging conversations. Like that's what our job is.
We'll pick up on the patterns. Like if someone keeps writing like charting, we go in there and we're like, okay, we need to have a conversation about the way they're charting.
We don't want to make it awkward or, more challenging on you as a preceptor, but we want you to feel comfortable to have like a segue into, some conversation.
And it shows their growth. Like if you go to the very first day where they don't know anything, and then towards the end, they're so independent and doing everything on their own, you should feel really good about that. Like that's what you created. You were a part of that.
They have access to that.
They do.
They do.
Yep.
So it is the open, dialogue that
they can look at it. We encourage them to look at it and read it.
Then they can just do some self-reflection, like, oh, I didn't realize I was doing that same thing over and over. And, maybe they can internalize that and just work on themselves without having this big productive, meeting.
And keeping that information confidential. So if someone is struggling, you keep it to talking with that person, putting it on the Google Sheet and talking to Trisha and I. We don't want to spread the word to everybody on the unit. Like we can just contain it, manage whatever's going on, and then hopefully the orientee moves on or doesn't move on. But you just don't want to spill their information to other people.
One other thing that we do, so we meet with management every Tuesday. We talk about who's doing well, who might have some areas of concern. We give them an update every single Tuesday on all of our orientees. So everything that is relayed to us, we are telling management. So that way we're all in the same, in the same loop, and then they can decide if they're in need to intervene or not at whatever point.
We tell them everything. Like we're not keeping secrets. So we come and check with you and say, hey, how's it going? What's going on? And it's not to get people in trouble. It's just so they know, like, are they going to get done on time? Do they need extra time? Or, like what's going on? So it's all valuable. The good stuff, the bad stuff, all of it. And that works into communicating with us and keeping your schedule if you can. That's always helpful. When you make a lot of trades after we put you with someone that's difficult, then they might end up with 10 preceptors when maybe they only needed 5.
Yeah. Other things that like with new interns or just new orientees in general, we want to make sure they have more opportunities, or we have more opportunity to mold them. I always tell everybody that my job, my goal is to put somebody out here on the unit that I feel comfortable working with, or that I feel comfortable taking care of my loved one. And hopefully everybody feels that way, that you can get that person that you're working with almost up to your standards, or, that you want them to become part of that team and to be able to take care of your loved one if needed. So always seeking out opportunities, good work habits, good work ethic, and taking initiative. I feel like I say that a lot to new orientees, that I want to see them like get up and take initiative. If things are stable in their area, go around the corner and, you know, tell your preceptor that you want to go see what else is going on, or if there's another learning opportunity to go seek it out. Any questions as far?
Just a quick one. I feel bad because I've gotten behind on the updating the Google Sheets. I don't know if that's
I can hear you, Deb. You feel bad because you've gotten behind on updating the Google Sheets. Is that what you said?
yeah.
Yeah. You know, I mean, we know that you guys are busy. We 100% know that this is probably the last thing on your mind. So if you can at least relay the information to the orientee so they know, and, you know, open that dialogue. But then also if you know, we're constantly trying to check in with preceptors on a regular basis. So we'll have those side conversations. It's not the end of the world. You don't document everything on that Google sheet, but it is our like quick reference. And then we can, that's how we can take that information back to management too.
And you can summarize a couple days. If you're with them 3 days in a row and you don't want to fill that out every day, you can put 3 days together and just put a little summary. That's
Yeah.
okay. Or if you're only with them for 1 day, you know, you can just say, I'm only with them for 1 day. Nothing really happened. That's okay. So yeah, we know life happens and
Yeah.
you guys are taking care of patients. Try your best to do it if you can.
I know, like, sometimes you think like, well, what's in it for you? You know, we're asking you guys to do all this work to train, and we're constantly asking because we have such, you know, we're a revolving door here. So what's in it for you as a preceptor? You know, preceptors see the new employees in growth and skill. So that's just like rewarding to see somebody grow and confidence. You can see them develop. We help decrease the staff turnover by your positive, you know, vibe and you know, helping them grow. Hopefully then they will realize that, hey, it's a good unit. Like, we'd like to see you stick around. You're assisting in building the team. You can use precepting for advancement in your framework. I know, I feel like we promote that a lot, but really you're already doing the work. So you just got to like document and praise yourself. Like, I'm doing all this for the unit, and that for your framework, then you get more on your paycheck. Like I mentioned before, learn as you teach. I feel that that is one thing that I've always been able to say, that like you learn more as you're teaching. It forces you to dig more because you want to learn or know just a little bit more than the person that you're teaching, or maybe it'll empower you to look more things up. And then just establishing a rapport with the new staff. You will become their mentor. They're going to hopefully seek out, you know, guidance from you as they go, and just feel comfortable coming to you and spread, you know, more positivity throughout the unit. So what resources are available? I don't know if you want to explain the Google. This is Serena's baby. She's really dumped a lot of time and information in this Google document.
So we created one more Google document that is just like, you guys can just have it as preceptors and we can share it with you. It skips over like the feedback section. It will just list, there's pre-op. You click on it and there's a resource available. You just click on anything blue as a hyperlink and it will give you information. It's all at your fingertips because you can pull up this Google sheet anywhere. We did even create one for the text too. So this is for everybody to use. If you don't know, I don't know about a spinal surgery, you can look it up. So we've tried, as like people do in services, we just keep adding to it. We also have a tab for policy. Everyone wants to know the policy. Like, what is the policy for transportation? What is the policy for our charting? It's all in there. There's the policy stat tab. You just click on the policy and it takes you right there. So you can share that with the person you're orienting.
So if you, we share this document with everybody, then on the bottom, you have your different resources. And if you are looking for policy, like Serena said, go to policy stat. And then all of these links, you just click and open. As long as you're in the facility, you have access.
And you don't even need to log in. If you just wait a minute, it takes you right there. It says log in, but you just wait for that finish clicking and then bam, you're at the
Like,
policy.
quickly, you can read through the pre-op NPO policy. So
We
it-
even have this for charge nurses, like there's a charge nurse. All this is available for you to use as a resource. And then if you have something you want to put on there, like there's something that you use a lot that's not on there, let us know, because then we can add it and share it with other people so that they know.
the other tab I really appreciate, especially as like if you're new to precepting, or if it's been a while since you've hooked up infoblock or epidural, you can go to this pre-op PACU checklist, and these are the competencies that everyone is actually checked off on when they're initially hired in, or like we have a new equipment or whatever. You can actually click on it. If you go to Alaris pump, it'll open up the document step by step. This is what the whole hospital is checked off on. Again, we try to think of everything, literally, of like how we can get this at everybody's fingertips. When you're at the bedside, you're in the weeds, and you're like, I don't know how to put a stop off down, like, or I've never been trained to do that. And somebody's like, I can, but it's been a while. And so then you want to look and see, how do we do that? Again, we plan to have this available for everybody, not only preceptors. So I think it'll be a way to get everybody on the same page, training each other and having access to review skills.
Those policies update for those links.
It's a link to the policy, so when that policy updates, it will just send you to the new one.
That was a good question. It was, are the policies updated? And because it is a link online, if they update the transport policy, the link will then take you to policy stat that has the most recent version. So, what else? We always try to put out some fast facts for nurse preceptors. There's
We have a book if anyone wants to borrow it, so you can learn about precepting and your
actual book that has a lot of tips. It breaks down different types of preceptors, probably a little different than Nurse Blake, but same concept. And then we plan to have a preceptor education program, we plan to enroll everyone. If you haven't taken it yet, the hospital offers a preceptor class. It's an 8-hour workday. I'll have to double check what the techs have available, if they offer a preceptor class for techs. But it's to standardize precepting, give you some foundational skills like communication, stuff like that, of how to be a successful preceptor. So that's offered.
Get you off the unit for 8 hours.
It is 8 hours.
So kind of nice.
We have 3 or 4 people going in March, and the next one's going to be in June. So we want to encourage those interested. All right. So what to do? Again, we want everybody to be able to promote critical thinking. Going from that novice to expert is so important. And it's going to take time. We're not going to develop these people in a matter of 5 weeks or 8 weeks that they're initially on orientation. It's going to take time. Using evidence-based nursing practice policies to guide us, providing the feedback, setting goals. I find that when we meet with our new people and we set just short-term goals.
Very basic too.
For the next 2 days, we're going to work on just the handover, or certain questions to ask in the handover, and we're going to make that your focus. So then when we evaluate, we're going to see where you improved.
It can be like, for this week, work on talking to anesthesia and keeping them up to date. It's so simple, but then that's something for them to work on, and then they can see the improvement. So it helps them, and I think they like it.
Yeah. And then obviously, like, we're constantly trying to communicate with everyone out in the unit and keep track of everybody. And we want everybody to become a mentor for that new developing PACU nurse. I know when I started and years past, you probably remember Tamika, Janet Gilbert was like the mentor. That everybody had a mentor and you went and had coffee. You did it too, right?
I didn't do it, but
It was so welcoming as a new nurse here that I had somebody that I could go and I felt comfortable with, that I could talk to her about if I had a bad day or if I didn't know what I was doing, if I got, a bad assignment or whatever. I kind of used her as like, hey, what do I need to know about like a kidney patient? I don't remember that in orientation. And she was totally going to be like, oh, don't sweat it. She was kind of the easygoing preceptor. But I knew I felt comfortable going to her and talking. So we hope to develop some of that rapport in the unit, that people can utilize preceptors and just among other staff as their resources and mentors. I think I did put another video in here, but we don't have time. I'll include it in the slide, but this is another like Preceptor 101. It's a short video. It's actually like 10 or 15 minutes, but if you want to go back and watch this, definitely just has some little tips about working with new staff, and developing those effective habits as a good preceptor.
so thank you for everything you do to build our unit, because it takes all of us, I think, to get our team. So we appreciate you.
Any other questions, comments? Know if anybody on the chat has anything, if you want to throw it in there. I think that was for Chantel.
Yeah.
Stop sharing. All right. Thanks, guys. Yeah. Thank you.
There's one iPhone, I don't know who it is.
Somebody's driving.
I know Deb Birchie was there, but who's the other iPhone? There's Christy Courtney. Was that who that was?
Be careful driving.
You guys, that's me, Tammy.
Tammy's on.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Tammy and Curtis.
You get or Michael.
All right, let's see.
I think there was somebody else.
Oh,
Thanks.
I got Emily, I got Crystal, like, I think I got them all.
Okay.
That was a lot online.
That was that. Yeah. Thanks,
Yeah.
guys. We're gonna go ahead and end the meeting.
You're welcome. It was very
Sorry.
good.
Emily, we got everything.
Guys,
Thanks,
it was very
Mike.
informational.
We appreciate what you guys do too.